Amichai, let me just start by asking you, because we've just heard Reuters report that the Israel government is now planning to open a probe into the whole Pegasus scandal. How much of this is building up as a pressure within Israel, particularly because there have been reports suggesting that there are close links between companies like Pegasus and the Israeli government?
You're certainly right, because every security company that works in Israel that wants to export some kind of technology, some kind of equipment, needs the approval of Israeli Defense Ministry. Now, it needs to show the Israeli Defense Ministry exactly to who is it going to be sold, to who is it going to be marketed, and what is the purpose of these sales and agreement, meaning no agreement can be done by security or defense companies from Israel without the permission of the defense ministry.
Okay.
So after all this exposure and all this list and all this really troubling reports about who was on the target list of the Pegasus software, meaning the Israeli Defense Ministry and now and other official bodies in Israel need to start investigating what happened here.
Right.
And of course, there are implication regarding Israel itself, meaning there are some countries that are critical about what exactly Israel is doing in this story.
And not just that, Amichai, because it's one thing for these companies to get the clearance from the Israeli Defense Ministry, but Haaretz reported, and you may have seen the story, that there almost appeared to be a situation where ex-Prime Minister Netanyahu was almost indirectly or directly promoting Pegasus. The story said wherever Netanyahu goes, Pegasus follows. He's meeting world leaders, and then immediately after that, names from that country appear on the Pegasus list.
I saw this report, but I don't know how it goes in Europe. But really, if you talk about countries in the Gulf, like Saudi Arabia and the UAE and other countries that before there were reports of public ties with Israel, there were reports that the Pegasus software was sold to them by permission of Israeli defense bodies. So it's really an issue that even countries without diplomatic relations with Israel,
right,
they get agreement that Israel can sell them stuff like this software. So I don't know if Netanyahu himself, the former prime minister, really did PR, public relations for this company.
Right.
But it is known that even before our countries that don't have public relations with Israel do get permissions to be sold this kind of software.
Right. Vijayta, now, it's been what now? I think almost 3 days since the scandal broke. We've seen a very aggressive line taken by the government publicly, politically, saying that this is all rubbish, we reject it. But you're also in touch, I'm assuming, with officials behind the scenes, national security ecosystem. Is there any worry there? Are they starting to look at how all of this could have happened?
I think it's very troubling because you take the WhatsApp lawsuit against NSO. You take this story right now about NSO, and again, like I said earlier, every kind of deal like this goes to the defense ministry. So that's why I think this time it's very troubling, because up until now, the reports that Pegasus software was against lawyers, journalists. Now, when it comes to leaders like Emmanuel Macron or Indian politicians or South African leaders, this is a completely different story right now. So I think
now it's starting to